So it's just about for me and my family. And I think those goals become a priority later. But first it was just about creating a job for myself and being able to keep putting a roof over their head for my family. And hopefully it galvanizes, but I think there's a lot of people in the area who have the same idea that I have.
Do you think those ideas will, I guess, resonate and become somewhat contagious? Because, you know, people see some success here. We're just talking about the NBA. It's a copycat league. People want to copy the template of success. Do you think that's going to be, or do you hope for that to be the case?
I hope so, because I think the problem is that it's not that Cleveland doesn't have the talent or the ability, but it seems like everybody is waiting for someone else to do it. And I just wanted an opportunity. There's a lot of great people, but there's a lot of people who have inspired me who've been doing it in silence, who we just don't know about, you run into all the time. So I hope so. I think it's always been here. It's a tough town, but it's a loving and very loyal town. And I still had anxiety and grief from leaving the other spot I had here in Cleveland. But I was close enough where I could open the doors and it could open up a bigger demographic.
When you say Glenville, people think of all the history. That's the word you use.
Yeah.
So even though it's not what it once was, it seems that whole mindset, that whole idea, never really died.
No, absolutely not. I mean, all we have is the stories, but we can go forward with the stories and the history. That's what everything else, we all have history, and you can live. And that's all, at the end of the day, when we're born, when we live, and when we die, we have is memories. And you have to pass those memories on.
Tell me about this initiative with the mayor and other businesses up the road.
Right.
You may not be in that circle, or are you? Are you in that same realm? This is all you.
Right, it's all me. But hopefully, you know, I'm the new kid on the block. So hopefully maybe that might be something where we can sit down with the mayor. We've extended ourselves. Hopefully he's been invited to our grand opening on May 5th. The soft opening is on May 1st. And his office has been very responsive. So I don't know much about it, but I know there's a lot of curiosity, a lot of interest in Glenville. Hopefully they get interested in Caposteaks.
Well, having said that, even if it's a separate entity.
Same energy though. Same energy, Fred.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, so for people who don't know all the specifics on the outside looking in, they look at the big picture and they see life, right? I
Absolutely.
mean, so that's what I'm getting at. I mean, that has to feel good, especially for this area.
Oh, absolutely. But you know what's funny? There was not a for rent sign on the door. There was someone who believed enough in Glenville. And that's a shout out to a young lady over at Flamingo, Carolyn Smith. And then she put me on to ECBI with Jasmine. And other people just started working just out of the love of seeing what we were doing. I didn't reach out to them, they reached out to me. So there's a lot of energy going in this area. And it reminds me a little bit, and my wife is from Chicago, but it reminds you of the Bronzeville area. And where it was always historical. And I remember y'all talking about the Gold Coast here in Glenville. And then they had a Gold Coast called Bronzeville where all the black millionaires in the 20s and 30s, and it was like they went through their rejuvenation in their period. So I'm glad to be part of anything that's growing in Cleveland. I'm just the type of person that, we've been to Philly, we've been to Chicago, we know what everybody else is doing. But I was born here and I want to see this blow up.
You say history. Now when people say Glenville, what do you want them to say?
Well, you know, it's championship. You got one of the best high school teams of all time. Glenville has always had a history. And it's really the soul of the east side of Cleveland, which is really the soul of Cleveland. So you always hear people talking about two sides of Cleveland, but there's a lot of hard-working, beautiful people who just want the best for their family. And it sits right here in Glenville.
Anything else you want to say about this community that I did not ask?
Just hang around, keep coming. Just keep coming and you'll see it's growing. We can't do anything but come up. So I'm excited about that growth.
What's the special?
We got the best cheesesteak west of Philly. And if I was in Philly, I got the best cheesesteak there too. But I'm gonna give Philly what it is. The cheesesteak we're known, that's our signature. You gotta come through, come on in here, Frank, and you come without the cameras and we're gonna show and prove. And our mantra is be a boss in everything you do. So we take pride in everything we do.
Heavy dose of Philly confidence.
Yeah. They know what it is. I talk about it. I get like maybe 20 or 30 people who transplants that come here.
Cool.
Well, not here, but at our other spot. We plan to bring more here.
What was this?
This was a former Popeyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, any questions?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're-
This video of the cleaning up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some video in here.